Hi guys, it's Sophie here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my first ever book haul on this channel, and it is a very large and kind of overdue book haul for April of 2016. I actually have 38 books. I do apologise about the length of this video. So I've kind of split it up into bookish things and then books that I've bought that aren't new releases and then books that are new releases. Well, last month I pre-ordered A Court of Mist and Fury, and thanks to Bloomsbury Australia, they sent out cute little tote bags which go with the books perfectly. Every month I also get the YA Chronicles subscription box, which is an Australian young adult subscription box that comes out monthly. I'm not sponsored, I buy it every single month by myself, but this, in April, it was Journal Junkie, so we got a little card that explained what was in the box, a cute little themed bookmark that says Volume 8 Journal Junkie. The book that we got in April was This Is Where the World Ends by Amy Zhang, and it's a YA contemporary, and the way that it's told is kind of got little like journal entries and like artsy bits through it, so it looks really interesting, and I am kind of keen to jump into this one and see what it's about. To go along with the Journal Junkie theme, they gave us a cute little notebook which has pages that one is like a normal notebook, the next page is like a to-do list, and this is made by a company in Melbourne, Australia. They also sent some bookish masking tape. They also sent us some currently reading stickers from the Sticker Alley. Yeah, so moving on into books that I have bought that have not come out recently. I have After by Anna Todd, which I believe is kind of a romance novel. I haven't heard too much about it from friends, but I have heard a lot about it from Lovely Like Laura over on YouTube, so I would recommend checking her out if you're interested in YA contemporary. I then picked up The Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummings because it sounds really interesting. I've got Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. All I know is that apparently like it's amazing, and I've heard lots of great reviews, and it's also got like you know, gay main characters, so I'm really interested in reading that and seeing where this story goes. I also picked up The Orphan Queen by Jodie Meadows, and I don't really know much about this except it's a fantasy, it's Jodie Meadows, so I needed to pick it up. I also picked up a Bluebeard retelling, which is Strands of Bronze and Gold by Jane Nickerson, and I can't remember, I think I heard about this on Thoughts on Tomes channel and it just sounded really interesting, so I had to pick it up. Because of month of Matson and The Unexpected Everything coming out in May, I decided to pick up all of Morgan Matson's other books. So I have Amy and Roger's Epic Detour and Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson, and these are both YA contemporaries. I do believe that this one is a lot lighter and this is sort of a bit more heavy and emotional, but either way I'm really excited to jump into both of them, and I do have Since You've Been Gone on order, but it hasn't arrived yet. Two books that I picked up that I already own in paperback and I've read the first one is Snow Like Ashes and Ice Like Fire by Sara Raasch. All you really need to know about these. It's a fantasy series, the third book comes out this year. The writing and the characters are amazing, and the story is just so different to a lot of other fantasy books that I've read. I also picked up The Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman, and again I don't know too much about this book, but I have heard it compared to The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare, just in the fact that, you know, like sort of Victorian era and demons. So I also picked up a book of Spirits and Thieves by Morgan Rhodes, and picked this one up because I picked up Falling Kingdoms and I really enjoyed it, so I just wanted to pick up the spin-off series as well because I know that the second book is coming out. I'm Horse Rider as well, look at the cover, there's a pony, so I had to. I also picked up 4 books in hardcover that I do already own in paperback, but me being a little bit OCD like I am, all the paperbacks have different spines, very slightly, like just very slightly, and they're also different sizes, so I had to go and pick up the hardcovers because I do love the books and I want them all to match and look pretty. I have, oh gosh, Falling Kingdoms, Rebel Spring, Gathering Darkness and Frozen Tides, and that's books 1 to 4 in the Falling Kingdoms series, and they are a YA fantasy series that is kind of, it's being compared to Game of Thrones, but I don't think it's like Game of Thrones. I think it's just it's kind of a world unto its own. Moving on to books that have actually come out pretty recently. Well, I have Raasch by Lynette Noni. It's the second book in her 5-book series, I believe, the YA Chronicles. Lynette is an Australian author. Her writing is incredible. I highly recommend you check this one out. Yeah, I just love these books and I can't wait for the 3rd book to come out. I recommend you read this if you're into fantasy. I also picked up The Winter's Kiss by Marie Rutkowski, and this is the 3rd book in the Winter's Curse trilogy. I also picked up a YA contemporary, When We Collided by Emery Lord. I don't know much about this, but I know 2 different kids, or 2 different teenagers, beach, romance. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see where this one goes. So I was lucky enough this month to win a giveaway. I won a signed copy of Yellow Brick War by Danielle Page. And I actually won this from HarperCollins in the UK, which is really exciting. So I also picked up another YA contemporary, and that is First by Laurie Anderson. It does have a lot of controversial reviews because of what it's about. I also picked up 2 books by Rhiannon Thomas. So I have A Wicked Thing and Kingdom of Ashes. Kingdom of Ashes is the one that's just come out. All I really know is it's kind of like a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but after Sleeping Beauty is woken. I did pick up a copy of Shades of Darkness by Albertalli. It involves a boarding school and people start dying randomly and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So I don't know, it just sounds really interesting, and I love, you know, the cover, like the watercolour type paintings, so I'm really keen to jump into that one. Sort of a new release, but sort of not, is the 10th anniversary edition of The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I've read this book, I love this book, and I had to get it in this edition because let me just tell you, it is stunning. I couldn't resist buying one for me and one for my parents, and it looks great on the shelf. I also picked up an anthology that was edited by Jessica Spotswood, and that is A Tyranny of Petticoats. I don't know much about this, but if you have a look, there are some amazing authors that are involved in this, so I had to get it, and you know, bells, bank robbers and other badass girls sounds awesome. I also picked up Glittering Court by Rochelle Mead, and from what I've been told, it's a YA fantasy, but people that have read it and reviewed it have said that it's more historical fiction. There's not really many fantasy elements, so I'm taking it as historical fiction. Another one that I have been anticipating since the start of the year because it just sounds sort of diverse and amazing is The Star Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi, but I believe this is a Hades and Persephone retelling. It involves sort of like astrology and Indian mythology and that sort of thing. So I bought The Mirror King by Jodie Meadows, which is the 2nd book to The Orphan Queen, which I've hauled a few minutes ago, and I feel like this is just a duology, so yeah, it's a lot thicker, and again, fantasy, had to pick it up. I also picked up Flamecaster by Cinda Williams-Chima, and this is a spin-off series to the Seven Realms series, so same world but a different series. I picked up Stonefield by Christy Lindsay, and I don't know too much about this, but it's around, like, set in America around the time of Civil War, inspired by Wuthering Heights, and I love Wuthering Heights, so I just had to pick this one up, plus the cover and the spine are just amazing. I also picked up The Serpent King by Jeff Sentner, which is a YA contemporary that looks at religion and like growing up and dealing with family issues, and I absolutely loved it. I read this one 4 out of 5 stars. I also picked up Riders by Veronica Rossi. I'm partway through reading her other books, the Under the Never Sky trilogy, and I love her writing, so I had to pick this one up. And there's a horse on the cover. The YA contemporary cross kind of a psychological thriller whodunit kind of book is Wink Poppy Midnight by April Genevieve Tucholke. I love the cover, and I haven't heard too much about this book, amazingly. I thought that more people would have picked it up, but it's blurbed by a lot of amazing authors, and I can't wait to jump into it and see what it's about. I also picked up A Fierce and Subtle Poison by Samantha Mabry. I don't know anything about this book aside from the fact that it's a new release and it's magical realism, and I love magical realism, so I just picked it up straight away, and I still haven't read it yet. I also picked up The Passion of Dulce by Julie Berry. This one arrived at the end of April, and all I really know is it's set in the 13th century, and I like historical fiction, so for me that was just something I had to pick up. I also picked up The Raven King by Mackie Stiefvater, and I'm sure most of you know. If you don't, it is the 4th book in the Raven cycle, which is 4 books. I've read The Raven Boys and I fell in love with it, and I'm kind of trying to get around to the 2nd and 3rd book so I can jump into this, but I've just had a lot going on. But I love this cover and I'm really excited, and it's just so pretty. I picked up The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ardier, and I still haven't read The Wrath and the Dawn, but I love Arabian mythology. I love the 1001 Nights story, so I need to pick up The Wrath and the Dawn. Plus, I love the blue, and yeah, I tend to buy a ton of books and then get around to them, but I love having the choice of what I'm going to read next, so I do tend to buy books as they come out. And last of all, I actually took my time picking up this book. I finally picked up Agnes Chase and the Gods of Asgard by Rick Riordan, and I just gradually getting my way through Rick Riordan's books, and I love his writing, and it's just, I really want to get to this one. And look at the cover. Look at the colours in that. I love that spine. I think it's the prettiest spine on my whole bookshelf. I will probably list all of the books that I've hauled down below, as well as put links to the YA Chronicles subscription service. To go along with this video, I would love to know if you guys have read any of these books or picked up any of these books. And if you have, like, which one are you most excited to read and why? Like, I would love to hear your thoughts on these books. And if you have any recommendations for me out of these books as to which ones to pick up first, please let me know down below in the comments, or have a chat on Twitter or Instagram. Yeah, feel free to chat. I'm always up for a chat, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! I think